Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide, I'm going to take a look at Gnomeregan on a Cenarion week, and especially this Onu Army that I used to clear a level 22 dungeon. First, let's take a quick look at the Gnomeregan dungeon mechanics. The first boss, Crowd Pummeler, melee cannon attacks and knock player minis off the platform, and yeah, they do. However, flying minis, when they get knocked off the platform, they can just fly back. When ground minis get knocked off the platform, even in some of these gaps, they're just gone. So the main plan for this one is to take this meeting stone and then start attacking it from both sides. With ranged units, Chimera, I suppose, is the best one. Chimera can just do so many things, and it can also recover from being knocked back, but any ranged units really can handle it if you send them from both sides so that the boss can't knock them all down quickly enough. Then there's also these protective devices: Gnomish Harm Prevention Belt, limited time protection, known to attract gnomes if left sitting too long. So these give the minis temporary shield, but also if they're here for a while, then a safe pilot will spawn and from the boss's side and grab them and then start attacking you. So you want to pick these up when you have time to use that, but the main thing is to get this stone and get these attacks from two sides going. The second boss, Electrocutioner 6000, is the most annoying and most difficult boss in all of the dungeons in this game, because you're just going to be swarmed by so many minis. It has rocket towers, so you can't outrange rocket towers, and these rocket towers also have this kind of mist around them that deals elemental damage to your minis. The boss itself deals a whole bunch of elemental damage, so you'd kind of want to tank it with something resistant. Even a Quillbore will do, but also Fire Elemental used to be pretty sweet when it could also tank the rocket towers, but nowadays it doesn't do that nearly as effectively. So you need something to take the rocket towers. Sappers with rocket boots is the best option. If they don't have rocket boots, then at least one of the sappers is going to die, because slow sappers just are not fast enough to get underneath of the rocket. But rocket boot sappers, even if they're one-on-one against tower, they will be able to hit the tower. Gargoyle is another fine one. It's also armored, so it does pretty good job here. If you don't have rocket boots on your sappers, you probably want to use a gargoyle. And once you get both towers, you really have to get some towers here. Then you want to attack the boss and use a resistant tank to turn the boss around and then get some damage on it from behind. For example, Chimera can be very strong, but resistant tanks are the key to getting to the boss. And if you win the second map, you have basically won the dungeon, because Mekgineer Thermaplugg is not much of a boss. Control switches summon walking bombs for big damage. Thermaplugg has this shield here, so Thermaplugg takes very little damage otherwise, but there will be walking bombs coming over here or coming over here, depending on who is going to break through these switches. Switches cannot be claimed by flying, so you can claim them with ground troops and you can claim them with spells. You're just trying to keep minis on both sides of the map at all times, so that whenever these spawn, you get to destroy them immediately. So just go back and forth and always send miners whenever possible, because there's plenty of code here to mine and it's all very close to your base. And yeah, Thermaplugg is just a game of whack-a-mole basically, and then that's Gnomeregan. So here is my army for Onu. I'm using Bog Beast, Defias Bandits, Pyromancer, Sappers, Whelp Eggs, and Witch Doctor. So this does resemble the army that I used with Cenarios. Cenarios overall is the stronger leader, I feel. I actually used the exact same army that I had used with Cenarios up to orange difficulty, but I could not get the red difficulty done with that one. So then I started trying to tweak and trying to find some kind of an advantage. So I'm back to using Sappers for taking the towers, and I managed to weave in one Cenarion mini with the Bog Beast. I ditched the Footman here. I'm using Defias Bandit so that I can cycle a little bit better, and I also have some unbound power thanks to the Whelp Eggs. And Onu is clearly a weaker leader than Cenarios, but Onu does have some advantages. I'm using From the Tree's talent, so I'm getting that double damage from after first deployment, which means that I can use Onu. If I can afford to play Onu, then I will be able to play some other minis, and they will deal a bunch of damage when they enter the fight. With this army, the first boss is the typical ranged minis coming from two sides, so I can also drop some Whelp Eggs on it. Then on the second boss, mainly Sappers are for taking the towers. Whelp Eggs can assist, and Whelp Eggs can also feel like some minis that are around a tower when it's taken. And then it's just attacking with the resistant tank, the Bog Beast, and trying to get some damage in with the Witch Doctor, with the Pyromancer, and also dropping Whelp Eggs on the boss. And if at all possible, if you can take the towers and you can get Onu walking in the center path, then that would mean that you can just drop your army right at the boss from Onu, which is nice when it happens, but I guess it's kind of difficult still to pull off. Anyway, this is what this army looks like in action. And here we go up against first boss with Onu, red difficulty, 22 here. So I just want to grab that stone. Usual fight for the stone, usual fight for the chests. I had a great opportunity there to drop some whelpecks because I saw lots of chickens were going there. So whelpecks handled the chickens. They couldn't take the chest, but some Defiance bandits could. And here we go. Fight for the stone. Whoa, that bog beast flew away. But it's okay. Looks pretty good actually. Fight for the stone has been successful. Dropping some whelpecks to catch the chickens again. Or we just need to send somebody to pick up that protection device. Yep. Those protection devices are quite valuable to me, because this protection device is the one that protects me while I'm attacking. The other protection device, well, it helps the base a little bit, because the safe pilot that comes pick it up gets a couple of extra hits in. But in general, it doesn't do too much there. Those whelpecks were hopelessly late. I started to think that, okay, maybe I'm going to pick up this protection device, but then I had hesitated too long and the safe pilot managed to pick it up anyway. That was a bit of a waste. But be that as it may, here we go. Just trying to get ranged minis from both sides, from one side, then from the other. The bog beast miraculously surviving the fall to the other side of the platform, which was nice. Yeah, from one side, from another, from one side, from another. Keep alternating so that the boss is going to keep moving and it's going to have a big path to go. And of course now I also have the whelpecks, so I can drop some of those on the boss as well. And boom. Alright, second boss, Electrocutioner, the most difficult boss in the entire game. And here I actually a bit too enthusiastically picked up actually a good relic, because now I have Band of Protector, so I have the discount on taunt minions, the tanks I mean. And yeah, well, anyway, I'm using Onu here with First Strike, so that means that with from the trees is the name of the talent. So that means that I'm using it as a mobile platform that's going to give me more damage from all of my minis. And that extra damage was really helpful here. I was able to grab one of the towers. And I can also position tanks ahead of Onu. Onu is tanking really well here. Onu is vulnerable. Note, Onu takes a lot of damage from elemental sources, but the rocket towers are no longer elemental sources. Here I'm actually doing a nice move. I'm stunning the golem, and then I'm getting some sappers in. Although that actually didn't help me as much as I had thought it would. So maybe it wasn't such a great move after all. It felt like a good idea anyway. Well, this is obviously not going as well as I would want to. I'm 1 minute 15 seconds in and I have nothing to show for it. But I still believe now I'm able to grab one tower. Alright, we have one tower. I have some stuff in the middle. The tower is going to come up. There's nothing challenging it. There's a push coming from the left, but I have a bunch of gold. I've been saving that gold so that I can answer that push. And here we go. We're dropping stuff to answer the push. We have a tank, we have some DPS. We no longer have a tank, but we still have some DPS. Should have probably dropped those bandits a little bit earlier. But now as soon as that one mini dies, yes, it died. Sappers, go, 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 go. A Mountaineer came out of nowhere. I'm trying to get something done with the whelps, but the whelps are not going to last very long there. They did last enough. They killed the bear, and now I can send some other minis that are going to ultimately take the tower back for me. Again, bandits doing some work, bandits doing some stunning. Excellent job. Preventing the enemies from hitting their good targets. Although there was a little bit too fast with the miner, and I ended up not being able to mine anything. However, now both of the towers are mine. I have an opening to get Onu to walk the middle lane. And that's going to be spectacular. Onu is going to grab the chest for me. And hopefully I will be able to get some resistant tanks out there. So that Onu is going to be protected. That's the goal. Just trying to get some protection for Onu. There we go. Now we have a resistant tank. We have well pegs. And I can just drop more stuff from Onu and all that stuff. Everything that I drop is going to deal double damage. Boom. Just look at that Pyromancer with the double damage. And now there's so much damage coming in. There's all those resistant tanks coming in. The Electrocutioner is in a lot of trouble. And it's down. Boom. Then the final boss, Mekgineer. Mekgineer is more of a formality anyway. Like, you just play whack-a-mole and there's not much else. Here, because I have that discount on the tanks, I'm even feeling a bit adventurous and I'm dropping Onu here. Normally I would not drop Onu on this map at all. I would just let Onu sit in my hand. Because Onu doesn't really do anything in this map. Now I used Onu as a tank. Because you generally don't want to put other stuff like forward. Deploying them forward with Onu is not a great idea. When it just means that they're going to die faster. When you want them to have presence on the board as long as possible. And just presence on the board. Both sides. This side, that side. Mine whenever you can. That's the story. I don't like this map particularly much because it's quite boring. You just go through the motions. Mechanic is very, very clear and obvious, and then it just takes a while. And like, you could make it a little faster if you use something like Execute. You can drop Execute on Thermaplugg, but then again, you really need it for anything else here. That's kind of the thing. Some kind of execute build could be built at some point. Anyway. Everything is going well. I have a huge lead in health. I'm taking these switches left and right. Literally left and right. And left and right. And left and right. And just dropping stuff. Cycling through my deck as fast as I can so that I will be able to get miners out there. So you can see there's almost always something to mine. Not possible to cycle that fast through the deck, and miner cannot bind both veins. They will always just move forward. But Mekgineer goes down. And that was Gnomeregan with Onu at red difficulty. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.